Ma'am, you're charged with prostitution. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
Yes, Judge. An undercover officer located an ad on a popular escort site and texted a phone number that was listed in the ad. The officer engaged in a brief FaceTime screening with the defendant where she agreed to straight sex for $220, and the officer provided the defendant with the room number. The officer waited for the defendant to arrive, and when she did, the two again agreed for straight sex for the previously agreed upon price.
Ma'am, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to engage in like behavior. Do you understand? If you do, you pick up a new case, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Can I give you an appointed lawyer today? Okay. I need you to fill out an application for me. We'll have you fill it out. I'm going to have you sign a receipt with Victoria. We'll have you take a seat in the jury box. Do not leave until we find you a lawyer though. Okay, ma'am? Okay, please. Is it Fernanda Solis Martinez?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, you're charged with criminal mischief. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
Yes, Judge. On November 19th, 2024, the officer was dispatched to a residence in Harris County, Texas, in response to a family disturbance. Upon arrival, the officer met with the complainant, who stated that he and the defendant, his sister, got into a verbal argument that turned physical. Both parties admitted to striking one another, and the defendant walked over to the complainant's computer and began hitting the computer monitor with a PS5 controller, causing damage. The officer observed the monitor to be shattered, and there was also damage to the headset and controller. The complainant estimates the cost of damage to be $1,120.
Okay, Ms. Solis, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. How old are you, ma'am?
I'm 22.
Are you here with anyone today?
I'm
Are
sorry.
you here with anyone today? What do you do for a living?
Nurse student in Memorial Herman.
Do you have any kind of income whatsoever?
I would say I make about 1,000 a year, 1,000 a week.
All right, would you like to apply for a court-appointed lawyer, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna have you fill out an application with Stephen. We need to work and we need to figure out what we're gonna do, because typically in these types of cases, I bar you from having contact with the complaining witness in this case, meaning that you're not allowed to have contact with your brother.
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't know where you live. I don't know if you live with him. So what I'm gonna, don't say anything now. I have a bunch of DAs here. What you say could hurt you. I'll appoint you a lawyer today, but we need to find out the family dynamic, because if you pick up a new case, you start acting a fool in the free world, I'm gonna take the free world away from you and I'm gonna put you in jail and I'm gonna make your bond high. And you have to understand that if you don't have anyone that's gonna post your bond, you will sit there in jail until this case is over with. And I'm gonna tell you, it takes about 9 months just to get a 911 tape, and all that you're working for, all that schooling to become a nurse, where does it go? Right. So we'll figure out that here momentarily. So do not leave until we let you go though, okay? Stephen's gonna give you the application. I'll have you sign a receipt with Victoria, and then we'll have you take a seat in the jury box, please. Good morning, Ms. Woe.
Good morning, Judge.
Thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
If you'd be so kind as to help me with translating for Miss Song here.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are Awa Song?
你是宋小姐吗？
Wait,
Yes.
Ma'am, you're charged with prostitution.
你被指控卖淫，
You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine.
如果定罪的话，你要坐牢6个月。
We are going to do
罚款是
probable.
1天。
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor.
We are going to do probable cause.
现在就宣读被逮捕的报告，
You have the right to remain silent.
有权利保持沉默。
Anything you say can and will be used against you.
你所说的一切都可能用来对抗你的证据。
So you know Your lawyer is here with us on Zoom.
那你的律师在视频上帮你。
Okay, so go ahead, but go slow, please. Okay.
The officer conducted a search on bedpage.com.
检查到那个店里边
The officer
调查，
The officer observed several nude photos and a phone number.
检查了在网上看到好几个照片，
The officer made contact with the defendant over the phone.
警察就用电话跟你联络。
The officer and defendant agreed to meet at a hotel.
警察跟你决定就是到旅馆去碰面，
The officer and defendant agreed to $400 for straight sex.
警察跟你跟被告达成协议，如果做提供性交服务，收费是$400。
The officer handed the defendant the money and defendant was detained.
警察就交给你钱，你就收了。
I will find probable cause exists to go forward.
我认为你被这份指控是有根据理由的。
I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to participate in the same behavior.
我现在下达保释金的条件，你不能够再做这种事。
If you pick up a new case,
如果你又再犯法的话，
if you do not remain in contact with your lawyer,
如果你不跟你的律师联络的话，
I will revoke your bond.
那么我就取消你这个保释金，
Just do not pick up any new cases.
就是不要再犯法。
You understand?
你明白吗 ？Yes，
We are going to reset your case to give you time to work this case with your lawyer.
我现在在定日期，让你有一点时间跟你的律师一起商讨怎么样去解决这个案子。Yes，
Do you mind filing conditions on this case?
Yes, Judge.
We will have you sign these conditions.
那你要在保释金条件上签名，
We will have you sign your reset, and then after that, you're free to go.
然后在那个另定日期的文件上签名，那你就可以离开法庭了。
Okay? All right, please. You are Francisco Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez, you're charged with tampering with a government record. You're facing up to a year in jail and/or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. The officer was conducting patrol and observed a vehicle with a temporary tag. The officer ran a search that did not come back with a return. Traffic stop was conducted and the officer made contact with the driver, who said this was their father's car and he got the tag. Officers were able to speak with the defendant, who stated he was a construction worker and he was given the car as payment. The defendant stated he bought the tags off some lady on WhatsApp, and the defendant said the lady advised him it was all legit. The defendant stated he met the lady once to receive the plate, but since then, the plates get mailed every month. The defendant paid her $75 a month and had bought approximately 10 plates from her.
Mr. Rodriguez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Tell me, are you a United States citizen? Are you in this country with or without permission?
Excuse me?
Are you in this country with or without permission?
No,
No tengo permiso.
I don't have permission.
What happens if you go to jail?
¿Qué pasa si va a la cárcel?
¿Cómo?
¿Qué le pasa si va a la cárcel?
No,
I don't know.
Think.
Piense.
no, pues. ¿Qué me pasa si voy a la cárcel?
What would happen to me if I go to jail, you said?
Are you in this country with or without
En el
permission?
país, ¿cómo?
Mr. Rodriguez,
Estoy sin permiso ahorita porque estoy queriendo ya arreglar.
I want,
I'm
I
without
want you
permission right now,
to,
but I want to fix. Quiero que piense.
No, pues. Yo sé que no está bien que esté sin permiso.
I don't think it's okay that I'm without permission.
immigration sweeps the jail on a daily basis. Every couple hours, immigration goes through to see who is in custody without permission in this country. And if they find you, they will put a detainer on you and you will sit in jail until the case is over with and then shipped off to immigration, where you will sit for another 6 to 9 months waiting for immigration to do whatever they're going to do. If you do not want that to happen, do not violate the conditions that I set forth. Do not pick up any new cases. If I find that you do, then I'm going to put you in jail. And if you're unlucky enough, you will be there for an extremely long time. You understand?
Extremadamente largo, ¿entiende?
Ok, sí.
Okay, yes.
Do you have a Texas driver license?
De conducir de Texas?
Tengo para estar aspirando.
I do, but it's expired.
So you don't have a Texas driver
No tiene
license.
licencia de conducir de Texas.
You are not allowed to drive.
Puede manejar.
Can you run his license, please?
There's no license on file in our system.
You are not allowed to drive, Mr. Rodriguez. And I'm telling you now, I don't care what is going on in your life. Until you have a Texas driver license and liability insurance, you're not allowed to drive. And if I find that you do, you can be facing a lot of time in jail. You will be signing a promise with me. This is an affidavit that you're not going to drive. I don't care what's going on in your life. There's nothing you can do or say that can justify getting into a car. I don't care if someone has to go to the hospital. If you don't have a license and liability insurance, no driving. And if I find that you do, I'm going to put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bombs. Day after day, I see people who get immigration holds in custody because they don't heed this warning. You will not get another warning from us. I'm going to have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. I'll get you to Victoria to sign a reset. You need a lawyer to represent you in this. And so we were going to give you time to go hire a lawyer. After that, you'll be free to go. Take care, Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes, yes, señor Rodríguez.
All right. Is that the last one?
Wood, on page 17.
Again, and again, and again, and again, Mr. Woods. Eight 14-23, assault of a family member. 6-9-24, violation of protective order, assault bodily injury. Another assault bodily injury. February of 24, assault of a pregnant person for which you're on deferred now. And now you've picked up another. You now stand charged with criminal mischief. You are facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cases, all in a matter of months. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, Mr. Woods.
Yes, Judge. The defendant was traveling with the complainant to go see the defendant's child with his child's mother. The defendant continued attempting to be sexual with his child's mother, and the complainant engaged in a verbal altercation with the defendant. Upon arriving home, the defendant exited the vehicle and the complainant drove to a store close to her home. The defendant took the complainant's iPad and walked and followed the complainant to the Kroger. The defendant then jumped on the complainant's hood as she was driving and struck her window multiple times with a rock, causing damage to her vehicle. Estimated damage was $300.
Who is the complaining witness in this case?
The complaining witness in this case is a Jacqueline Perry, who is the same complainant in the assault of a pregnant person.
Tell me he's not supposed to have contact with this complaining witness? Guys,
Morgan.
Mr. Woods is on deferred for assault of a pregnant person.
Yes, Judge, I'm emailing the felony prosecutor right now.
Was he, as a condition of that, not to?
No threatening, harassing, or abusive contact with the complainant in that case.
Mr. Woods, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm now sending you for a drug test. I want to know what, if anything, is in your system. If you fail to go take the test, if you fail to come back, I'm going to revoke your bond and I'm going to make it so high. On one ankle, I'm going to put a GPS monitor because I'm ordering you not to have contact with this person, and you've shown repeatedly that you are incapable of following bond conditions. And I'm going to put 1,000-foot radius that you're not to have any contact with this person. You're not to have any weapons. You're not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. And I'm going to test you repeatedly so I know that you're not using, but I'm sending you now for a drug test. Like I said, you failed the test, and if you fail to come back, things will not go well. Do you understand, Mr. Woods? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Take a seat for me. So we're done. What do we learn?
You don't challenge the system. You stay on task. You stay focused. You stay busy. It's 5 years worth of lessons, Your Honor. It's
Been on it for a long time. So if there's anything that you're going to take away here, don't get into a car when you've had anything to smoke, when you've had anything to drink, because you got to understand you're now facing a minimum of 30 days in jail. And with your record, you ever get pulled over and they smell something funky, whatever it may be, it's probably not going to go very well. You know what I mean?
sir.
You look great. I'm glad that you've completed successfully. Thankfully, she has been tenacious in your representation to see this through, because I'm going to tell you now, there are not many lawyers who would act as Ms. Phillips has done to see this all the way through. So I hope you really appreciate what she has done, because she's done a lot.
I very much recognize that.
And you've done a great job.
Thank you, Judge. She's been an exceptional client as well.
Well, we've had a lot of issues, but I'm glad that you've finally gotten it done. You're not in jail. But remember this, the thing about this is you're going to forget about us. Time heals all wounds, but the law is a jealous mistress that she's on your back for the rest of your life, gnawing, clawing. She's never going to forget about you. You get pulled over, you're 81 years old. You smell funky. They don't care. You're going to end up in jail. Remember that. All right.
All right.
Good job. I'm glad you got it done. Take care, Mr. Lopez.
Sir.
Thanks. Good job. You too. All right. Good morning, Miss Holly. Ma'am, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement where they're offering you. You say 3-2? 3 days in jail with credit for the 2 days that you've done. You need to understand, ma'am, that this charge is going to go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. It's even there after you die. And it's important because, like I told the other gentleman, you get pulled over, all officers care about is your record and how you look. And even if you smell funky, alcohol, dope, and even the slightest exhibition of something, they're going to take you down. And what we're doing today, the proverbial slap on the wrist, From now on, you're facing a minimum of 30 days in jail. Do you understand? So if I were you, even if you've had a sip of alcohol, you go on a date or whatnot, I wouldn't even get into a car. $20, $30, Uber, wherever you want to go, don't matter. You understand? You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty and you accept this, there's no turning around. You cannot undo this. Do you understand? You sure you want to do this? How do you plead to the offense, ma'am? Guilty or not guilty? I will find you guilty, sentence you to the agreement. In this case, Mr. Horn, was this a intervention gone wrong?
Yes, that's correct, Judge. That's a law violation out of county. So she's.
Was it it was a theft out of county, right? Okay. All right, ma'am, I will find you guilty. I'm going to suspend your license to drive 180 days. Do not drive until you get a license. My other thing is that what do you do for a living now?
I'm a behavioral therapist,
And how much money do you make a month?
roughly 2,000.
Who do you live with?
I'm living with someone right now because finances were rough.
Children?
No, sir.
Okay. The reason I'm asking you these questions is one of the things that you have to do when you plead guilty to a DWI, there are surcharges that you have to pay. $3,000 to DPS when you plead guilty to this office, not to mention the court costs, which are usually around $400, $450. Your lawyer's asking me to waive it for you, but why would I waive all those fines and fees when you have, why would I reward you for the behavior that you have exhibited in the past year? Tell me. You're getting kicked out. You pick up a new theft case, which is completely within your control. I don't understand. Why would we reward you?
Up until the case 2 weeks ago,
I don't want you to talk about the theft case. Don't.
No, I wasn't. I was speaking on this case. I haven't violated, blown dirty, had any issues, did all the classes, everything I needed to do.
She was participating in classes, paying her fees. They just kicked her out for the law violation.
I've done everything I needed to do.
It's a shame. And I'm going to tell you, one day you're going to look back on this and you're going to say, God damn, I was so stupid for picking up that, I will, because you were doing well, I will waive the fee for you. But I want you to understand, you ever pick up another DWI, it's double. So it's a $6,000 surcharge that you will potentially be required to pay. You pick up another DWI, not to mention the court costs. You will probably be rolling out here with around $7,000 in fines and fees. You pick up another DWI. If you're not smart enough to consider how to get home on a night of drinking, then it's really not going to go well for you. All we ask you to do is take an Uber. It's not hard. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. I will find you guilty, sentence you to it. I'll waive the fee.
you.
It's not going to happen. Good luck. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Horn.
Matter of the portable device that was a part of her PTI. I forget.
We will take everything off now. Right. We'll get an order from either Toria. Is it from you or?
The probation officer does it, but I'll print it out.
Yeah, we'll get it taken care of today.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Take care, man.